Alright, today what we're going to do is we're actually going to go through the script I wrote that I call crypthomes. It's going to allow you to set up your Pinephone or other Linux device, and it will create any USB stick into a key for the encryption. And every SD card that you select, it will turn into a copy of your current internal storage's home directory. But think of it this way: you can use this to make multiple different home directory identities, where you might want to have one for your work, one for development, another one for pen testing, another one for other purposes, whatever that may be, where you can store those SD cards fully encrypted and outside your Pinephone anytime you like. Now what I want you to do, if you're following along, is I want you to slip in your SD card into your Pinephone. You should have a working terminal as root, or using sudo, and now I am also slipping my SD card into my Pinephone. Now what I'm also doing is I am placing my USB key, or my soon-to-be USB key. You can use any USB stick for this, and that was the point in making this script. I wanted to make it easy for anyone to make encrypted home directories, as many as they wanted, and to be able to work back and forth between each of them. So you may like the operating system you have underlying, you may want to keep things going there, but you might want to have extra encrypted home directories where you can work in a different environment on each one and create entire different virtual home directories for whatever purposes you may have. You may download things, you may have books on one, you may want to dedicate one to development, another one maybe to pen testing. You may want to protect your privacy by creating multiple different virtual identities in order to create a bit of a disinformation for advertising data collectors. You may not want to put your real information, and on another one you may want to have your real name for your banking, for all your official accounts that you want to keep compartmentalized and separate from some of those online worlds. I'm going to show you guys and walk you through the script. First thing we have to do is we need to actually download it. And right now I have it on my Gitya Onion server, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to download off that using the Torify command. Then we're going to actually set up one of these encrypted home SD cards with an encrypted key that is our USB key. It will be any USB stick and any SD card. So that's all you need for this. In this video tutorial, you'll need an SD card, which will make a copy of your current home, so it will not interfere with your internal storage's home. So you can change back and forth, and I'm going to be adding new options on the menu here. So you can actually change back to different encrypted home directories and possibly label for different purposes, where you can boot right back into your internal storage's home directory. So at any time you can still access all of the original home directory, and it doesn't disrupt that. It simply makes a copy so you can work on a new encrypted home directory expansion for whatever purpose that may be, and it helps compartmentalize the key away from the device, as well as the home directory fully encrypted away from the device. Right now using LUKS, but I'm going to be exploring other options there, and you can pick any cipher you want in the script, so we're going to go through that. So let's go ahead. First thing I did was I SSH over into my actual Pinephone, so I'm going to do that first. You can do this right on your screen. You can actually use your touch screen keyboard to do this. You don't have to SSH. I'm doing it so it's easier for you to view on the screen, and so it's easier for me to type. I've just logged into my Pinephone, and like I said, you can do this right on your Pinephone's touch screen, but I'm doing this to make the video a bit easier to see. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is I'm going to create a new directory, and then I'm going to go into that directory. Okay, now what I need to do is use the Torify command, and this allows me to download from an Onion hidden service, a Tor hidden service. Now it is cloning the actual scripts that I wrote, and this is an easy way to download it, but you can also go right to the actual page and you can click the download button here. So that's another option for you. You can download either a zip or a tar.gz, and you can also right click on that, copy the link location, and use the wget command. So it's that easy to download this to your Pinephone. Now that we've used the Torify command, there's a little mini tutorial on that. We're now going to look at the crypthome script. So let's go ahead and go into it. It's actually very easy to use. You only have to enter a couple different devices to ensure that you flash to the right location, and it does all the rest for you. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the script. It's got quite a bit right now. I need to do some revisions, but this is the essential script here, and it's going to have a lot more options coming up. So this is what I've been working on lately, and we're going to go ahead and make it executable. So we do chmod +x crypthome.sh. So we have our USB stick plugged in, we have our SD card slipped in the back, and we're ready to run crypthome so we can create our new encrypted SD card home directory, which basically it takes whatever's already on your internal home directory and it puts it on an encrypted SD card, which it creates. It allows you to add a password, which you can delete later if you want to make it dependent fully on your new USB stick key. But I tend to leave the password because you never know. If something happens to your USB stick, you want to have a way to get into your encrypted SD card home directory. So we'll go ahead and run that now that everything is set up properly. It's that easy. We're going to go ahead and run it now. And I'm going to go /crypthome.sh. And when I run this, as you can see, it has a little checks for privileges to make sure you're root, because you need to have root to make these changes. And it's going to keep your original home directory on the internal storage, but it's going to create that copy that you can work with as an entirely new home. So now what we need to do, it listed our block devices. We just need to find out which one is the one that we want to write to, and we need to differentiate that from our USB stick and our SD card. So right now it's asking, what is the USB stick? Well, it gives the example here, and it is that exactly, /dev/SDA, and we'll go ahead and press enter for that. Now we need to name which is the SD card inside the DEV directory. In our case here, it is correct. It is MMC BLK0. Now when we press that, we're going to choose what type of file system. And this is something you may like to know. There have been tests where flash memory has been shown to be sometimes more stable on ext4, but faster on F2FS. So we're going to go ahead with the speed here, F2FS, and we're going to hope that it makes a difference. We're going to try that out. Now what we need to do is pick our encryption cipher. I have the example here is a very strong but also an efficient one where most systems have this compiled into the kernel.
So we're going to go ahead with that today. If you have other ciphers that are available to you, you are welcome to choose that. It will work with whatever it is that your machine is capable of using. So we have AES, XTS, plain 64. Now we're going to press enter, and it's going to go ahead and recite back all the information that we typed in. Now it's going to give us a menu, and this is the menu I have so far. I have disk wipe, where you can overwrite with random data, or you can use make vol, which is make volume, and this will do the entire process for you. So make volume will create the new encrypted LUKS volume. It also automatically turns that USB stick into an encryption key that is used to unlock it. It also adds it to the boot, so it does the entire process for you. You simply choose make volume, it does the entire process for you, and then all you have to do is reboot that phone with your USB stick and your new key in it, along with the SD card, because it does add it to the boot. But if you don't have that with you, you can easily revert back to the internal storage's home directory. And you don't need a fully encrypted internal storage for this. So it's up to you. If you have the fully encrypted fully encrypted eMMC, you can still use that. And you can use this on top to add an extra layer of security for you. So we're going to go ahead and go with the make VOL for make volume, and now it's going to copy everything from my internal eMMC to this new encrypted SD card that it's going to create, along with creating a USB key out of my USB stick. So it gives you 5 seconds to cancel on it, and it's going to immediately start this process. So it's now copying everything that is inside the storage.
So you could be in a situation where you want to ensure that when your phone turns off, say you go out somewhere and you don't want someone to be able to unlock your phone, you could leave your USB key at home. And at this point, it's now making our encrypted volume here. So it's saying making the AES XTS plane 64 at /dev/mmcblk0, and it is also reciting back the other assignments that we gave it. So at this point, it's going to assign a USB key unlock key file that it's going to create for us. So it asks if we want to continue, and I'm going to type Y because of course we're going through with this.
Answered yes. Now what we need to do is type yes in capital letters, another second confirmation here, and it's going to overwrite the SD card, which you can bring in any fashion. It could be blank or it could have stuff on it. It'll take care of the rest for you. So we type yes. Now what we need to do is enter a passphrase. This is like a backup password. You can choose to delete this later on, or you can keep it for when you want to mount possibly that SD card on your computer or laptop where you might want to have access to it without the USB stick. So like I said, you can make it dependent completely on the USB stick key, or you can have this backup password if you want to keep it. It's creating the file system type, which I chose the one F2FS, which should be faster. So now it's adding the key. Backing up our FS tab and our crypt tab. That way we can easily restore it if somehow you enter the wrong information. And now what it's doing is it's adding all of our original home files on the internal storage, which, mind you, is still on it. Anytime you want to use that original storage, that original home directory, you can easily change that boot so you can boot to it. You can boot at will to any of these encrypted SD cards that use these USB keys. It's just an extra layer of security, extra layer of compartmentalization, and this can be an extra secure way to store things.
There we go. It's created that new encrypted volume as into our SD card that we had slipped in. It also created the key on the USB stick that we had inserted. It automated the entire process for us. All we had to do was enter the device name of our SD card and our USB stick. It's that simple. You too can use this crypthome script in order to create as many encrypted SD cards as you like that you can have set to boot in however fashion you like. I will have new ways you can manage these encrypted SD cards over time. It's one of the things I'm working on. I'm juggling a whole lot right now, and I'm actually doing a lot of traveling currently, so I haven't been able to keep up with everything that I've been trying to keep up with, but this is something that is ready to use for you now. You can create your own encrypted SD cards and have those USB keys using any USB stick and any SD card. It's that easy. So if you want to support content like this, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/politictech, and you can also read my public blog posts there. I'll leave links in the description, and I'll also leave links to the download for the crypthome scripts that I'm working on.